Good evening, everybody. Welcome to winter. Winter is here. If you're wondering why I'm dressed up like a polar bear about to partake in some safe intercourse, it's because it's got darn cold out here. It's about 10 degrees. We got a good stiff wind going. So we're going to try to get back into the swing of the barn project. We've had a couple weeks off waiting for materials, things like that. Well, maybe about a week. Tractor tire is fixed. I'm going to try to get that started tomorrow night so we can get another top plate in here to cut joinery in. I do have some queen post tying members to cut some joints in. We're going to work on that tonight. We have some floorboards to cut to length. We're going to work on that tonight. And it's going to take a few hours here, get as much done as I possibly can in this weather, and go from there. But stay tuned. We're going to get the chain mortiser out. We're going to get the router out, get these mortises for the braces, cutting these tying members, and gonna go from there. So stay tuned. I'll catch you on the other side of it. Kind of an important thing to note, a lot of historical examples of old mortises cut in this manner, where they drill it out, and then they would go through and chisel it By the time they got to the bottom of the mortises, it would almost be fishtailed, be flared out at the bottom, and that's because your chisel has a tendency to want to dig in deeper the way you're cutting these mortises. So it's something you want to watch as it's going down the side, and you'll get a feel for it pretty quickly, because what'll happen is you'll notice that your what the hell am I trying to say here? You'll notice that your chisel will start wanting to, it won't be tight to this edge right here. You'll see it as it's digging down, so you always want to watch that when you're chopping these by hand and not using the mortiser. Now, not using the mortiser, obviously it's not as fast to cut them as it is having the mortiser, but it certainly is not the end of the world to have to do them by hand. I actually don't mind it a bit, as long as you have a good bit. I mean, the proper way to do it would be to have like a boring machine, which I do not own one. Eventually I will. But the proper way to do it would have your boring machine where you can sit here and then it cranks it down and it puts it down in a perfectly straight line. The way I'm doing it, you better do quite a few practice runs with a Forstner bit if you're going to do it this way, until you can get a good feel of doing it square, because it's very easy to get out of square doing it this way. And having a good square mortise is pretty important. It's actually very important. So you notice when I get down to right there every time, I'll stop, and this is the same all the way around. That lets me know, at least at this point, I'm going down straight. And I want to continue that. I want to try not to kick this drill one way or the other. I want to try to go down straight the entire way. Even if you could get halfway down, and the way these bits are, you only have about 3/4 of an inch or half an inch that's actually following and holding this thing straight. It's very easy to go one way or the other with it. And clear your chips often. Pull the bit out once in a while. And also when you go through, you can see we're right on our line all the way around. That's right where I want to be. You can keep going. Now when you get to this point, it's really hard to tell if you're going down square, so look at your drill from above as best you can and look to see if that looks the same, be the same distance to center all the way around the shank of that bit. Now when you go in, the way as deep as these pockets are, I have to bury the chuck just a little bit, not very far, but that's a really good way to see that you're the same. I've got about 3/16 of an inch all the way around this, and that's perfect. That means I went down this nice and square. Now the two ends of the mortise, that's where it's really important to go down nice and square. So get off just a little bit on this side, that's okay. I need to rock this way a little bit. Okay, we're going to clear the chips. We're pretty good there all the way around. Now we try to take it down straight all the way. Chips. Your bit, make sure it doesn't look like you're rocking, because sometimes you can hit a knot going down and it's going to deflect that bit a little bit and you won't even realize it. I I could feel, I think I just hit one there a little bit. You could feel it when you hit them. Maybe not, but it sure does feel it. And we got that chuck in there a little bit. There we go. We get a nice, now there's a knot right here, so that wood that we hit that sounded differently, there's a little bit of the grain pattern around that little knot right here. We can live with that. We're stopping, we're checking. I rocked back a little bit on this one, but side to side we're pretty good. That backwards at this point is not a big deal because we don't have an end here that we have to worry about. But those sides are still quite important. You're going to use these drill holes to have your chisel follow down. So all right, got them lined out. Now if your chisel's good and sharp, a lot of times you don't even need a mallet to clean these up. Slicing down with the grain like this. See that? You could just knock it right off that way. Goes down nice and easy. Chops in there well. Now I'm pressing pretty well, but it's still going down real easy. To get you a view of how clean this is. You can see how clean that those sides are or not. Check the view. No, you can't really see too well. Let's see if I can get you closer. There we go. See how clean that is going down? That's with no mallet work. That's just pushing on the chisel there. No. Sometimes it's hard to get a good angle for you guys here. Now I have to sharpen my corner chisel. This thing is the hardest thing in the world for me to sharpen. I could sharpen all the other ones just fine. This thing is a pain right in the ass. Let's see. Try to do it on a stone and it just throws your angles all off. Usually get the one side pretty good, but my off side, always a pain in the ass. You know what I always say, if you can't shave with the chisel, it's not sharp enough. Take the burr off. Yeah, let's finish this guy off. So it's wise, before you start to cut down with your corner chisel, just lay it out with your regular chisel. That way it gives it a spot for your corner chisel to follow. This when you're trying to slice across that end grain. Well, let's see if this will cut any better. So if your corner chisel's not sharp, all it's going to do is crush that end grain. That's a little better. It's not where I want it to be yet. It'll work for now, though. Thing with these, when you're doing them, you kind of want to dive. These want to dive in on you and off of the cut. Precisely what this one's doing. Let's see. Turn this off a little more. Oh, I don't want the mallet here. Now your 2-inch chisel, or your 1.5-inch chisel, whatever you're using, whatever mortise size, try to get the same size drill bits and chisels for the mortises you need, because it saves you a lot of time in the long run. When you want to check this mortise to see if it's going to work, if you can bring your chisel all the way down it. I mean, you may catch a little bit, but you don't want it too bad. It'll show you some spots where you may not have it quite right. But if the chisel's made right, it's a perfect 2-inch or 1.5-inch or whatever size your mortise is. It should be a perfect size to fit those properly. Whoa, what's going on? Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh shit. This mallet just broke. I'm gonna have to re-glue that, son of a bitch. Oh man, well, it's an easy fix. Just have to clamp it up good and glue it. Man, he put a lot of time into making that too. Must be the cold weather. Well, time to get the old beater out. There's another one done. There's 3. One more for the night. Well, that wind is getting really nasty now, so I think we're going to call it a night, go and edit this, show you my crazy ass hair. So we're 2 framing members closer. We have 22 main frame members left to cut for this frame, only 22. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that means I have more logs I have to source. But really, in the grand scheme of things, as soon as I have the materials here, that's maybe 2 weekends worth of work for me with everything else going on. So we're really not that far away from being able to stand the second floor, and I'm a month behind schedule now with all the delays we've had in the last since about mid-November with all the sicknesses and family illnesses and all that good stuff. But anyway, we're going to be back on timber framing for a little bit. When I run out of stuff to do with the timber framing, we'll get back to the blacksmith and stuff. We're going to kind of go back and forth. I know a lot of you who signed on for timber framing are not liking the blacksmithing, but you know, it's what we're doing. So that is kind of the future of the channel after the timber frame project is done, until we get into the next timber framing project, because I'm into a lot more than just timber framing. So, but with that said, this channel will be focused mostly on traditional type things. So anyway, appreciate you folks watching. I'll catch you on the next one.